Hello, friends, and welcome to Should I Watch That? I'm Janet.
And I'm Rachel, and today we are going to discuss the movie Woman in the Yard, which was released in 2025. It's a Blumhouse horror film. Janet, would you like...
Always,
Go ahead.
always good movies from Blumhouse. I never know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, whichever, I think.
Whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So I want to start the episode, Janet, by saying that we can't even discuss this film without spoilers. So I will say spoiler alert.
Warning.
Yes,
At the
with a
beginning.
big red flag. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do, so we're going to kind of give it away. So
we
sorry.
are giving it away. So, okay. So The Woman in the Yard is about a grieving mother, Ramona, and she's tormented by a mysterious woman in a black like long dress and covering over her face, sitting in her yard. The woman is later revealed to be a manifestation of Ramona's own grief, guilt, and mental struggles after her husband's death in a car accident. So the film explores themes of mental illness, grief, and confronting one's inner demons. We've got Danielle Deadwyler as Ramona. We've got Okpaswali. I hope I did that some justice.
I hope you did too. I didn't even put it in my notes because I knew I would butcher it. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. She's the mysterious woman in the yard. Russell Hornsby as David, Ramona's husband, and I've seen him in other things. I recognized him.
Yeah, he was very familiar. Very familiar. Yeah.
Peyton Jackson as Taylor, Ramona's son, and then Estella Kahia as Annie, Ramona's daughter. So, Janet, what did you think? Where do you want to start with this one, babe?
Wow, this was a lot.
Mhm.
So first of all, I really felt bad for the main character at the beginning because she was on crutches and she clearly had jacked up her leg big time in the car accident that you learn about that she and her husband were in.
Mhm.
And I watched her like trying to get around and go downstairs and take care of the kids and take care of the dog and feed the kids and do the things. And I am not personally a mother, but if I were on crutches trying to take care of dogs and cats, like I felt her pain. But besides that, you could tell that there was stress in the family and the kids were trying to help mom, but then the kids were trying to be kids and the kids were grieving because dad is gone.
Mhm.
So like just the whole setup at the beginning was stressful, I think. And that kind of eased into the bigger stress of seeing some rando covered in black
Mhm.
sitting in a chair in your yard staring at your house.
Correct.
Creepy.
And the kids' reactions to seeing her, they were both like, mother? They're like, who's that? Yeah, and I think that the woman in the yard, the actress, she did a great job of being creepy.
Oh my God, so creepy. She was so creepy.
I've seen her in something before. I can't think of what it is, but first of all, she's statuesque and beautiful. She seemed super tall. Just
Yes, she seemed very tall.
watching the movie, she's like this beautiful woman. But anyways, she was scary. I didn't think the movie overall was very scary. Honestly, it was more of like a thinker. What did you think?
So, for me, sometimes seeing the monster isn't the scary part. It's not knowing what the monster looks like. So for me, there was like this constant underlying tension because when you see something just covered up sitting there like a human,
Yeah.
but it's not moving and it's not doing anything, and you're like, oh my God, what's underneath?
Mhm.
So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And so, all right, so one of my biggest things that creeps me out is when you're watching a movie and you see somebody look at something and it's across the room.
Mhm.
And then they turn around and do something, and when they turn back around, now it's only
Well,
halfway across the
it's
room,
closer.
and you never saw it move, and
Mhm.
it's something that shouldn't be moving,
Mhm.
but it did.
Yes.
You know, what was it Poltergeist, where the kid's in bed and the little toy, like,
Yes.
gets closer and closer? Anyway,
I feel like
so that kinda
that's a very
yeah.
common, like, horror movie trope, and I think it's very
Mhm.
effective. That is scary.
Very effective. It it stressed me out. Um, but then I was also not scared. Like, it didn't feel like a scary horror, it
Yeah.
was just sort of a little bit it was psychological horror, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yes, it was very
Um,
dark.
yeah. And, the whole family, the whole time, they're like, "Oh my god, she's getting closer." But then, the other thing, and I didn't think about it so much until after the movie when I was reading about the movie, just to see
Mhm.
what it was online about it, is that the son is like, "I'll take the car and go get the police." Or, doesn't somebody have a cell phone that we could charge and call the police? There's a neighbor. You could probably run to the neighbor's house before whatever's in the chair can get you. And there was this mindset of there's nobody outside of the house that can help us when there probably was. And trying to keep all close the blinds, lock the doors, stay in the house because this rando's in your yard. I don't know. It was a little
Yeah,
unrealistic
and for the
considering.
listeners, just to put that in context a little bit, the film starts, uh, with the mom. She's laying in bed watching a video of her dead husband on her phone, and the son
Mhm.
comes in and he says, "Mom, the power went out." So she didn't pay the power bill, I guess.
Mhm.
So the power's not on, and then her cell phone dies,
Mhm.
right? So she can't call the power company. And then she tries to sneak out after the woman is established in the yard. She tries to sneak out to the car to then turn the car on to charge her phone, but then the car won't start.
Mhm.
So there were like a lot of barriers to them like getting away, I guess, which I thought were silly that all those things went away at the same time. Like,
Yeah, right. And so the moral of the story is always have an external battery charged that you can
yes.
plug your phone into if you lose power. Moral of the movie. Thank you, folks, for listening. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Um,
But
anyway.
I will say, as an adult who, I'm just going to move us along to the theme of like depression and grief,
Mhm.
because I have
Yes.
struggled personally with depression and anxiety for my entire adult life. And thanks to medication and therapy and lots of work on myself, I am still here. But I
Mhm.
understood and felt the struggle because I, she was getting like very irritated with her children, and I am a mother. I'm a single mother. So when am in like some low times with my depression, that manifests in like being snippy with my daughter, unfortunately. And we have lots of
Mhm.
conversations about that. But I totally got that, and I was like, yeah, she forgot to charge her phone. I understand that feeling. Cuz you just kind of,
Mhm.
because your mind is not able to take care of itself, and like you at that time, you forget to do those little things. Like,
Mhm.
so having to then take care of the dog and the chickens and the kids and all of that. I totally what am I saying? Totally felt that.
Yeah.
I
I
understood.
and I kind of the same thing you said, having struggled with depression as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Thank God for medication. Thank God for therapists.
Yeah.
Um, all I could see was her as a mother knowing that she should be taking care of everything, when in reality, the only thing she should be taking care of is herself because she was not in a good place.
Yes.
But she couldn't stop what she was doing to focus on herself because of everybody else
She
and
had
all
to.
the things that she was
Mhm.
responsible for.
Yeah, she had to do all the other things too.
She had to
And
do the things.
once the woman in the yard kind of talks to her and reveals herself, she says to Ramona, "You called for me. You don't need to be strong anymore." So this was like the uh, one of the themes of the film as far as suicide goes and
Mhm.
how depression can devolve into suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts. Um, and spoiler, I mean, that's kind of how at the end of the movie, there's a scene that I feel like we should definitely talk about because
Mhm.
at the end, there's kind of like this back and forth struggle. There's points in the movie where you can't tell if it's reality or she's imagining something. Like there's a point where it looks like she's holding her daughter and it looks like she's about to stab her, but then she stabs a pillow. And it's like, well, what's real? So that was kind of part of the
Mhm.
psychological part, I think. But then at the very end, they're kind of battling this woman in black as a family. She sends the kids off to go get the neighbor, and then there's a whole scene where she like gets the gun. She goes out to the garage. She sits in the chair, and it's like the woman is in black is like coaching her along, right?
Mhm.
And that like manifestation of suicidal ideation, I and the struggle, like how she struggled with that in the scene. Excuse me, I just swallowed really hard. Um, I felt like that was so powerful because I mean, I have not to that extent, but I've had suicidal ideations in my younger years, so I understand how that can feel like an actual physical struggle. So I thought that that scene, for me, it evoked a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion, and I thought that they did it very well, like showing it as a struggle that way.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I think there were so many moments where it was what you were seeing on the screen was so real to her. It was
Mhm.
like a vision that Ramona was having, and then she would kind of blink and be like, "Oh, here's reality."
Mhm.
And I that happened so many different times, and at the end, you're almost having that same feeling, like, "Is this real or is this
Mhm.
just in her mind? Is she gonna snap out of it?" And, like, this is why we're friends. Like you said, I think everybody has those moments in their life where you're like, "Is it worth it?"
Yes.
How much more can I take? Or, it would be easier if.
Mhm.
And you see that on her face and you see that in her actions and her decisions and, the little visions that, she kind of gets lost in.
Yeah.
And the more it progressed, it was less horror and more just suffering, just her mental state, her situation, making a choice about if she could fight, not maybe if she wanted to, if she could.
Yeah.
It's not sometimes it's not even a matter of what you want, it's what you're capable of in that moment.
Mhm.
It was heavy, very heavy.
It was very heavy, for sure. But I appreciated that because I don't think
Mhm.
I mean, even people in my life that have never been fortunate enough to suffer from depression, uh, they just
It's a
don't
gift.
they don't get it. And it's
Mhm.
hard to explain to people what it feels like to not be able to do something.
Exactly.
It's really hard. So I I think that they did a really good job. I know I said this already of just showing like kind of making it a physical manifestation to
Mhm.
show the struggle, to show the battle. So in that way, I liked that undercurrent of the movie because sometimes when I'm struggling, I do feel like I'm taken over by another person, like
Mhm.
who was that just yelled at my child for no reason, like
Right.
you just I totally get that. So that part of the
And
movie, I thought that they did well. But I do want to talk too about like so what do you think was real? What do you think actually happened? Because as Janet mentioned, it kind of goes back and forth where you're not sure. kind of what's real in the movie and what's not.
Mhm.
Like at one point, she walks through, she hears her, like the woman in black takes the daughter, okay? And then Ramona can hear her daughter like yelling for her downstairs. So she follows the sound and she ends up following the sound into the gun safe, which ends up being a tunnel into the reverse of her bedroom where her dead husband is on the bed talking to her. And
Mhm.
it's like a mirror image of her regular house, right? Obviously, that's not reality.
Right.
But is that like a metaphor for something that actually happened? And I want to say my theory, but Janet, you say your theory first.
Okay. I'm on the fence. I had a theory and then I was doing a little bit of research on the
You
interwebs.
can't. No, your
Mm.
pre-research theory, Janet.
Okay, fine. Pre-research theory, we're seeing her we're seeing her state of mind,
Hmm.
and to her she hears she's going to help, but she's getting lost along the way in
Hmm.
the memories, and she's confused even though she knows what she needs to do. So I feel like a good portion of the movie was how she was handling things emotionally, her mental state. So maybe not reality like to you and me,
Yeah.
but seeing through her eyes her struggle.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. And your theory.
My theory is well, okay, but say your theory about whether or not you think. I mean, in the end, she does not pull the trigger. Right? And then she reunites with her kids and they go back into the house. And what did you tell me your theory about that whole thing? Like she
I'm not sure. I think like she's considering it, but then it appears that she makes the choice
Mhm.
to not kill herself and to stay with her family.
Yes.
But again, it's so hard to know exactly what was real and what was just in her mind the whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't have a solid, strong feeling that she didn't kill herself.
Mm. Well, for the listeners, I will say that me and Janet messaged about this, and I was trying to get her to say what she said in our
Oh,
messages that she
what
thought
did I
that
say?
she struggled with the suicide attempt and but she overcame it and then she realized she wanted to live and she wanted to be better for her kids and walked off with her kids to be a better mom and doing better with depression. Do you remember saying that? You don't remember.
Vaguely.
Okay.
But
And then
like
I
the more but the more I did research
that
today and the more I'm
research,
saying it out loud,
Janet.
I'm waffling on my previously stated
No
documented
waffles. Waffles are for the
feelings.
morning. No, I'm just
Waffles
kidding.
everywhere.
um So my theory was way darker, okay?
Okay,
And
bring it.
I
I'm
didn't
ready.
do any research because I didn't want my opinion to be swayed, Janet Bananet. Um, so my theory, because at the very last scene, like Ramona's a painter, that's another thing. And when they walk into the house, it zooms in. She's got a painting up on the easel, and her name, her signature on the painting is backwards, like
Mhm.
from the mirror. Okay, the mirror scene. And that's why I tried to tee us up with the mirror scene that I talked about a minute ago. Okay. So my theory is that she killed everybody. That's my theory. Because there's
Hmm.
like a flash of where the chickens are all dead. I think she
Mhm.
just went nuts. She killed the chickens. I think she killed the dog. I think she really did
Mhm.
kill the daughter. Remember the stabbing in the pillow?
Uh, uh-huh.
There's not really a flashback that says she killed the son, but it could be inferred that she got to it at some
Yes.
point. And then at
Mhm.
the end, I think she did kill herself. So maybe the reuniting with her kids at the end was them in like spirit form, and they're returning to the
Mhm.
house to be there forever as their ghosties.
Hmm. Which sets up the sequel, squeakquel, if you will, Woman in the Yard 2. We're not alive anymore, we're ghosts in the house, and
Yeah.
another woman appears. No,
And
I
another
I
family
could
moves
honest
in.
another family moves in and they see the woman. I could go either way. Part of me is like, "There's always a happy ending." But then on the other hand, there's not always a happy ending.
No.
And sometimes a little dose of reality is good when you're watching a movie. Not that her doing all those things would be good.
No.
Don't
But
mistake me.
well,
But
and I was kind of thinking, I was going back to the scene where she is at the dinner with her husband,
mhm,
and she's talking about how unhappy she is. And her
mhm.
husband's like, "What do you mean? Like, we did all this. You agreed to all this." They like moved from the city to the farm and they're trying this out and they want to be happy. He seemed to be trying to do everything to make her happy, and she just wasn't happy. And he kind
Yes.
of
Well, and
inferred, like, you weren't happy in the city and now you're not happy in the farm. Like, where are you happy? And it
where
kind of,
will you ever be happy?
right. So that's kind of why I was having that feeling too about maybe she did just because it's revealed too that she was driving when they had the car
Mhm,
accident that killed the husband. And apparently that was a surprise to the son. She didn't tell the kids about that. So
mhm. I
she's
think they assumed that he was driving. Yeah.
yeah, like she's pretty secretive about some things. So
I
I don't
did
know.
have a thought too when that was revealed that maybe they both died in the car accident,
Mm.
or maybe she's in a coma after the accident and all of this is in her mind
Oh, Janet.
because she's aware of her husband's death, she's aware of the car accident, and she doesn't know what's happening, and it's all in her coma mind.
Oh, did you read that on the
Mm,
internet?
I might have, and I kinda liked it. Don't
Janet.
think I'm that good that I came up with it by myself. But, yeah.
Oh, I love
But,
that.
valid theory.
Valid.
Valid
That is a
theory.
good theory. I like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that without the interwebs, so I appreciate that.
The internet makes us better people.
Sometimes.
Um, but so another thing that stressed me out through the whole movie
Mhm.
is I was waiting for the dog to die in some
Yes.
horrible fashion.
Mhm.
Okay? If the people die in a horrible fashion,
Usually.
such is life.
Yeah.
You hurt the dog, we have a problem. And
Oh,
but like that stressed me out the whole time. I was like, something is going to happen to this beautiful floofy puppy dog,
yeah.
and I am just going to have a mental breakdown.
Mhm.
And anyway, but fortunately, you don't see anything like that. So for those of you animal lovers,
Yes.
no need to worry.
Yes. Well, the chickens did get it, so they were dead.
Oh, that's true. But
But not the dog.
no, there's no but animals.
But,
Okay, and
go ahead.
uh, if I may,
Yes, you may.
earlier when you were talking, I had a little bit of a revelation that I did not find on the internet.
Okay.
Um, you were talking about when you're suffering depression and anxiety, and when you're at a low point, if if the woman in black in the yard kind of represents the lowest point of depression
Mhm.
or suicidal ideation or the worst anxiety or all of those things, sometimes you're in your house, you're in your life, and you know it's out there.
Mhm.
Like you see it, but it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm okay. It's
Yeah.
over there. I'm having a good day. I can deal with it. And then other days you're not doing so well and you turn and you notice it's a little closer.
Yeah.
And then you start to freak out because you're like, oh God, am I going to be able to handle this? What am I going to do?
Mhm.
How can I deal with this? And then the more you notice it being closer, it feels like it gets even closer.
Yes.
So maybe it's all just a metaphor for people struggling with depression and knowing that there's something out there and they've experienced it, and sometimes it's closer and sometimes it's farther away.
Yeah, I like that. That's very
Mm,
true.
yeah, thank you.
And before we render our verdicts, I just wanted
Yes.
to bring up resources that are available for
Hmm.
anyone that's struggling. We have the 988 suicide hotline. So anywhere in the United States, you can dial 988 just like you would dial 911. And there are people available 24/7, 365 to help you. And there's also from the Trevor Project, anyone in the LGBTQ plus community that is having issues and would like more specialized services geared towards who you are as a human being. Their phone number for their hotline is 866-488-7386. And you'll be connected with a Trevor counselor who's understanding of LGBTQ plus issues and will not judge you. So, two amazing resources that are available to anyone struggling and just needs somebody to talk to.
And if you don't even want to pick up the phone, you can text 988
Yes.
and get someone with a suicide and crisis lifeline or 988lifeline.org.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. We want
all
you
right,
here,
Rachel,
everyone.
we want you here because
Okay.
we have lots of things to say, funny things
Hilarious things.
to entertain the world.
Exactly.
All right, The Woman in the Yard, released March 2025. Rachel, should I watch that?
No.
I need you to be a little bit more
Okay.
decisive in your responses moving forward.
Um
Why no?
I mean, if you would like to watch something that is very heavy and depicts, some seriously heavy depression and suicidal ideations, go for it. Otherwise, I didn't find it to be a horror movie as the genre suggested. And although I thought that the acting in it was great and the themes that we discussed throughout this episode were well done, I don't overall I do not recommend it. What are your
Okay.
thoughts, Janet? Would you watch it? Should you watch it? Should I watch it?
Should we, as a collective,
Yes.
watch it? Um, okay, I'm going to give you two answers. My first answer is no.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was really heavy. It was really weird. It was not necessarily a horror movie. I was misled in thinking it was a horror movie. Um, so, no. However,
Yeah.
I would say yes if you're curious, because I would love to hear other people's opinions
Yeah,
on
that's
what they
true.
think happened. Um, if it was real, if she was in a coma, if the lady in the yard was real, if
Yeah.
it was all in her mind.
I think that's
So,
fair. If you want to
yeah,
discuss with us on our socials what you think happened for real, then go watch it and let us know. Otherwise,
yeah,
maybe watch something else that we're going to talk about.
yeah. Let's do that.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right,
Good job,
Janet.
Rachel.
Good job, Janet Banana. Well, everybody, I hope that you have popped your popcorn and you're choosing something else to watch besides Woman in the Yard. But we will see you next time on Should I Watch That?
Rachel, roll the credits. Goodbye.
Pew, pew, pew.
This episode was produced by Ryan Myrick.
Follow us on Instagram at Should I Watch That 25 and on Facebook at Should I Watch That.
Email us at shouldIwatchthat25@gmail.com.
Like, follow, and review wherever you listen to us.
Or wherever you cast your pods. Thanks.
Thank you.